Soppressata experiment. Let's see if we can make it. I've got a mix of some different chilies here. I've got some serranos and some banana peppers and some cherry bomb hot peppers, which aren't really hot. They're only about as hot as a jalapeno. We're going to roast these and make a pepper sauce with them. So that's what I'm doing there. Got some garlic. We're going to put that in there, and then we're going to put some olive oil on, some salt on, and we're going to stick these in the toaster oven, roast them up for a little while, and then make a sauce out of them. And I set these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I let them go for about 45 minutes. And there they're done, and I'm putting them in my tomato press, which was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done this. I didn't get anywhere close to as much as I thought I would, so I ended up adding some tomatoes in there just to increase the volume. If I did this again, I would take the seeds out, leaving the veins in, and then just used an immersion blender or something to blend everything up. I wanted this to be a little bit hotter, and as you can see there, I lost most of my volume in the solids out the waste end of the tomato press. Although I did end up dehydrating that, and I made a nice little dry pepper blend, which is nice for seasoning stuff. So then, because the tomatoes are so watery, I put it on the stove to simmer out a little bit of the water out of there just to thicken it up a little bit. Now I'm weighing out my salt, spices, and cure, and I used cure number 2 because I thought this would take about 6 weeks to dry. Well, it ended up drying in about 10 days to get down to about 40% weight loss. I was trying for about a 30 to 35% weight loss, and I overshot that because it dried way faster than I thought it would. So if I did this again, I would use cure number 1 instead of cure number 2, because you can't eat anything with cure number 2 until it's been at least 30 days, and I ended up waiting about 45. I did this on the 13th of September, and then after a week I realized that it was drying too fast, so I vacuum sealed it and left it in the aging cabinet so the cure could keep working, but it didn't dry out anymore. So there you saw I mixed all the ingredients, and now I got it put into the sausage stuffer, and I'm stuffing it into some hog casings. These were fairly small hog casings too. Another thing I learned, if I did this, or when I do this again, I will use larger hog casing. I would probably use something about 2 inches. I would want a larger end product than I ended up getting with this. I will put a basic list of the ingredients down in the description, but this isn't going to be a recipe because this was an experiment. Okay, now that they're stuffed, I'm just taking some butcher's twine and tying them off into lengths that will hang nicely in my curing chamber, and I'm weighing them, and then I will write down the starting weight now, and then I will also write down my target weight, which I end up overshooting. And there they are, ready to go onto the press. This is Soppressata after all. I pop out any air bubbles and line them up on the press. This is the press I made for my cheese, but it worked out great here. The only problem I had was I put way too much weight on this. If I did this again, I got a 25-pound weight there. If I did it again, I'd probably only go 10 or 12. I did put some blocks on there to keep it from pressing down too far, but it still was pressed out way too thin. And I put the blocks there also because I was afraid that if it, pressed unevenly, it would tip and the weight would fall. And, all that other things. But it looks pretty good. They're just really way too thin. I left them in the press for 24 hours, and then I hung them to dry in my curing chamber. And like I said, it was 7 to 10 days. And then I realized that they were drying way too fast, so I pulled them out and put them in a vacuum seal bag and then put them back in. And when I put them back in there, I left them in there for a little over a month. Today's the 27th of October, and I put them in there around the 23rd of September. So in the end, you'll see in a minute that it worked out pretty good. But like I said, I need to pay closer attention to which cure I use and how long things take to dry. But it's an experiment, and we learn all the time. So it's still fairly soft to cut. You can see there it's got beautiful particle definition between the fat and the lean. The casing is nice and tight on it. It bound well. So we're going to serve this up for lunch with a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese, and we'll see Bob in the taste test. Well, that was a bit of an experience. Let's give it a taste. I pressed it out a little too thin, but it looks good. Got good particle definition. You can see a piece of black peppercorn right there. So, here goes. It's a little bit drier than I like, because I wasn't thinking, like I said earlier. Other than that, texture's great. The fat's creamy. The meat's well bound together. The spice level's there. I personally, I think it could be a little bit spicier. But if I share this with anybody else, they'll probably think it's kind of pushing the high end of the medium side. I like spicy, so this could be a little bit spicier for me. And I think had I not run the pepper sauce through the tomato press, it would have been thicker. Or I would have had more. Not that it would have been thicker, but there would have been more there that would have got blended up into the sauce. So it probably would have been a little bit spicier, but I don't know if it would have been too much. If I make it again, I'll just up the percentage of the tomato sauce and a little bit, and it'll be good. But the flavors are there. This is fantastic. It's a little too thin to like make sandwiches on because, like I said, I pressed it I used too heavy of a weight on it. I wouldn't do that again. And I would probably use a bigger hog casing. But for an experiment, first time, this worked out great because I learned a lot of things and I ended up with a product that is damn tasty. So yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. It really helps. Leave me a comment down and leave me a comment if you have any questions, or if not, just let me know what you think. See you in the next one. Bye.